Alright, so in this problem we are asked to find the volume of the composite solid shown, and what we're looking at here is a cylinder with a scoop being removed from the top, and we can think of that scoop as a hemisphere, which is half of a sphere. So to find the volume, we will find first the volume of the cylinder and then subtract off the volume of the hemisphere. So the two formulas we will need for this problem are, the first one being the volume formula for a cylinder, V equals capital B times H, and because capital B stands for the area of the base, and if you're talking about a cylinder, the base is always a circle, we can replace that with pi r squared and then still times H. And that is your volume formula for a cylinder. We will also need the volume formula for a sphere, which is 4/3 times pi times r cubed. And then once we calculate that, we'll end up cutting that in half because we don't need to consider a full sphere, but only a hemisphere, which again is half of a sphere. So to start, let's find the volume of the cylinder. V equals pi r squared times h. And in this problem, r, which is the radius, is 3.3, so we will replace r with 3.3 in our formula. And h in this problem is a 7, so we replace h with 7, and we begin to evaluate. So 3.3 squared is 10.89, and for now we're just going to multiply our coefficients, 10.89 times 7, to get 76.23 pi inches cubed, and that's the volume of the cylinder. Now we're going to move on to finding the volume of the sphere that is involved in this problem using the formula V equals 4/3 pi r cubed. And again, in this problem, r is the same as it was for the cylinder, 3.3. So we're going to replace r with 3.3. And we will continue to evaluate. So when you take 3.3 to the third power, you get 35.94. And as we again continue to evaluate what we have, we're going to multiply 35.94 times 4 and then divide that by 3 to get 47.92 pi. But what we're going to do next then is divide that by 2, because we are only considering a hemisphere and not a whole sphere. So we're cutting the whole sphere in half to remove the hemisphere portion of this composite solid. So when we divide 47.92 divided by 2, we get 23.96 pi inches cubed. Now that is the volume of this scoop being taken out of the top of the cylinder. So for our total volume of a composite solid, we need to take our volume of our cylinder, which was 76.23 pi, and then subtract from it the volume of that hemisphere we just found, which was 23.96 pi. Subtract the coefficients to begin with, 76.23 minus 23.96 to get 52.27 pi, and then lastly multiply those two numbers, 52.27 times pi, to get a final answer of 164.21 inches cubed, the volume of the composite solid shown.